Welcome back to EWC Central. We are into the final hour of our Saturday broadcast. Day 3 of 4 here in week 7. It is the penultimate week of the Esports World Cup. And while the Call of Duty quarterfinals are deep into the action, a little later this evening, Atlanta FaZe will be heading onto the arena to defend their title hopes and their chances. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome back to EWC Central, Erik Anderson from FaZe. We had a fantastic conversation where I'm not even embarrassed to admit I fanboyed quite a bit. You're sitting here with Anna from Vitality. Katie's obviously joining me as well. I think before you and I have a hard conversation about the club championship, let's focus in on Call of Duty. How good are Atlanta FaZe? How well are they going to do, Katie? We've got the man here to ask.
I might have a smidge of bias, but I think they're the best, and I think that overall they've been the best team in Call of Duty for a number of years. They're not without their stumbles and their struggles, though. They've looked fantastic at this tournament so far. They had their way with 100 Thieves yesterday and hoping to do so today.
Hang on. Can you stop glazing Erik and FaZe?
I have to a little bit, but before I get into the harder questions,
okay.
I have to lead up a little bit.
I'm here for the premium gas. So.
Look, premium gas, but historically...
Sorry, Erik, just to let you know, after that intro, this is Katie Bedford's predictions.
That is
just
my
so
prediction.
you're aware. So now that I've thrown you under the bus, how about we talk about this?
Yes, and so the reason I picked that leads into my questions now, right? Is that historically dominant, but struggle to close out in winners final, especially in finals. So can you talk a little bit about that and how you've kept the team together for so long? Because issues like that can tear people apart very quickly. And the core, at least, Selim Abizi, they've been together a long time.
Look, I think the guys think that they can do it together. That's why they stay together. I also think it's tough mentally when you have a lot of these same results, but they clearly think that they can win on any given day, right? So that's why they're staying together. That's why they're coming out. I think they can win this tournament. I think we're optimistic that they can too. I've seen this over the years. It sometimes gives them resilience to keep going. Sometimes it tears them apart, you know? And I hope this kind of, I guess, their results from champs gives them some fire to come out here and actually take the whole tournament.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And I know in terms of keeping a team together, Crowder is a huge part of that as the head coach for the team. But I would love to see them take down Optic. But as champs, I kind of gotta go with them in the bracket. You called me out.
I did. I wasn't going to tell you. I wasn't going to tell you we had that prepped. What do you think of the overall tournament that we're seeing here? Obviously, the final 8, pretty much the expected names. I think with the swapping of Cloud9 and Surge, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the scenes, Katie's really explained to us well that was a bit of an upset and a surprise because Toronto started the bracket theoretically much easier.
Yeah, so one thing I want to highlight is I think it's super cool that you've got a lot of challenger teams there.
Yeah.
And just like this is a proper global event. I miss the CWL. I miss that open structure. I miss the concept of being able to play in and actually get a chance to go and win. It's very unlikely that you're going to make it all the way, but like, hey.
It's happened. Gen G and BO4 was taken down by challengers.
Also, like, I with much love to Alban and G2, I mean, they got rolled in the lower bracket, right? So you got these challenger teams giving us some fun ones. You and I obviously know Alban very well.
Yeah. Nothing but respect.
With respect, results are results, right?
Yeah,
but I think more importantly, like when we zoom out and we do look at that, do you think that type of environment, having these challenger teams and the ability to have these AM teams stepping up, I'm learning the lingo, and play against CDL squads will deepen the, let's say, the strength of players and squads?
100%. I mean, I think it's you look at other FPS ecosystems that allow this to kind of happen. And I think Counter-Strike, it gives you these opens. Like we just had a heartbreaking loss last night, but it's because of the depth of the field, right? I forget what they're ranked, but that wouldn't happen in Call of Duty, right? And so the door is kind of closed to it, and I wish that it was more open. But like, this is a great opportunity and this is a great event that kind of harkens back to that period of time when you could actually do that. So love it for that.
Look, I think FaZe affiliated organizations, Atlanta FaZe and more, historically have some really big personalities, and they do in Call of Duty. You picked up Draza for the MW3 season. You won a major. Talk to me about that, because loud personalities can be a lot to handle too, but you seem to do it really well.
Yeah, FaZe knows a thing or two about loud personalities.
No, you don't say.
I think that it was a really good fit. I think the team firing all cylinders is incredible when they're playing together. So I really hope that that's the the squad fully kind of goes through that all the way through the final
A
tournament.
little too easy for a BZ you were hoping for?
Yeah, we I don't know if you guys saw some of our social posts that were out there.
Oh,
Fun
yes.
ones.
We've had a lot of fun with
It's
them.
great.
We've actually discussed a few. We haven't shown them, but we have discussed a few of them.
Yeah. Get Gershon Tucker on here and ask him about it.
I wanna just quickly turn the attention. We're gonna zoom out and look big picture very quick. I've got you on camera. Which of your shooters is your personal favorite to watch?
Oh man.
It's a hard question.
That's tough.
Okay, so I've got a place in my heart for Celium.
Yes.
Mainly just because he played as a rookie for us.
Right.
And so he's kind of been in the FaZe ecosystem since the beginning. I'm pretty sure we were on the phone with him in a couple weeks of him turning 18. So like, I think Cel.
Yeah.
But that's no shade on any of the other players.
Listen,
like
this is not. It's not about anything other than just who you enjoy watching. I got similar things. Like I just love watching Tonk.
Totally.
Dude from Spirit, he's got a lot of passion. You can't always do the mic checks and listen-ins. Okay, I want to zoom out really quickly. Talk about now FaZe and EWC. When we talk about club championships, it's been a topsy-turvy ride. At the moment, sitting with 180 points. I'll quickly read you the results. 5th through 8th in Counter-Strike 2, 13th in Apex, 5th to 8th in Rainbow Six, 5th to 8th in Modern Warfare 3, at least. And then we got PUBG PC and Rensport coming up. I would anticipate, it's fair to say, had hoped for more, but you're going 5th through 8th on 4 out of 5 titles in events with multiples. How do you reflect on the org's performance and then let's say EWC as a whole?
I mean, look, it's a bit of a bummer in any title when you kind of lose to the team that ultimately wins, especially when you do. Like if you kind of lose in the finals, it hurts, and for the club championship, it stings a lot less because you have a lot more points to show for it. So I think from that side, it's a bit of a bummer because you don't really know. I don't think 5th, 8th necessarily reflects where we were in that whole stack. But unfortunately, also it feels so far away to climb that mountain right now.
Yeah.
And if we win this tournament, or if we win Call of Duty, we win PUBG, Rensport, then obviously, we're right at the top of the pile.
Yeah.
But that's a huge.
Can I show you how close this is, by the way? Because we actually do have the club championships going just this week. Yeah. We've also started separating out the clubs that do not have eligibility.
Right.
So, for example, at the top of the tables, Falcons, they are very nearly mathematically secure to win. Yeah. There's a few other pieces that have to fall into place. You're sitting at 180 points. Let's presume you take second. That bumps you to 780. That means you're already 9th. Let's presume you win a title, bumps you to 1,185 points. That's going to push you to 5th on the table of actually prize-winning eligible teams.
Yeah.
That's going to take the sting out of it a little bit when you see the real table, right?
Sure, for sure. No, it definitely takes the sting out of it. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer where you're just looking at that and you're like, oh, I think we thought that you were going to need a few more points than what it looks like to actually be in top 4, top 5. Yeah. And I think we're all a bit, not really surprised when you look back on it and think how hard it is to actually win a tournament. Yeah. But definitely, if we just win these 2, then we're good. And I'll say this. Then we're in 2nd place.
I'll say this as well. Like looking at the EWC, looking at the club championship specifically, it is a brand new competitive format. I think it is fair to say, Erik, maybe a little longer than me, but I have also been around the esports ecosystem for a very long time.
I think you might beat me.
You think I beat you?
You beat me.
Okay, so I'm like probably late 90s, 98, 99, I started watching. Are we close?
Later.
Okay, so okay, right. So I'm 98, 99. Regardless, the 2 old men on the sofa.
Yeah.
The point I want to bring up, very last question, for somebody who has been around a while and has also seen the different events, to actually bring all the games together, but more importantly, to be putting your FaZe hat on and go Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Warzone, Rensport, PUBG, all of these titles, but for the org, for the club. This is something that has to be exciting when you look ahead to the future, and it's something I'm filled with optimism. Yeah. What is your stance, Erik?
I think we weren't sure how this was all going to shake out and how everybody was going to take it. I think it's pretty amazing to see kind of everybody come in, give their feedback on everything that's happening in a really positive way. Like the Call of Duty ecosystem, for example, absolutely loves this event. And it's been a commentary that this is really a global event where a lot of the stuff we do in the States doesn't feel as much, even though they're global players, doesn't feel like the whole world's necessarily competing there. So I think that's a really cool thing. So I think, generally speaking, we're going to explore some of the other titles that I would say 2-3 months ago, we were probably like, we're not necessarily going to go there.
Yes.
So
That's exciting.
I love this as well. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I did have a conversation with Erik off camera. We talked about some potential games. Woo! Okay, I just have one last question. I'm then going to ask you to give a shout out to FaZe, to the boys about to take to the arena and the rest of the org. Katie, how do you look Erik in the eyes and tell him that you predicted him to lose in the semifinal? How do you respond?
I'm going to tell him to prove me wrong.
Oh, okay. I will be honest. I wasn't quite sure where you're going to take that. That sounded great to me. One last thing, Erik. We've done this since the last time you were visiting. We've got an exclusive piece of merch that we get everyone to sign. We put the little week name, the games, everybody that comes on the show over the course of the 4 days, and we'll be giving this away to somebody who's tuning in. Awesome. I'm going to ask you to sign this on the way out. We're not going to do it on camera because it's a bit awkward. Okay. So to camera number 1, give a shout out to FaZe, to the fans, to the viewers, anything that comes to mind.
Awesome. Shout out to all the FaZe fans out there. Shout out to all the creators and I guess everybody that's aspiring to kind of be and compete here. Everybody that's aspiring to kind of be a creator, maybe one day join FaZe. We always appreciate your love and support from everybody, like Ricky, Banks, the boys, all the way through to our pros. So just keep rooting for us, and we'll try to do right by you. Thanks.
I've got one last one. Yeah. I'm probably going to put my foot in my mouth, and if I have, I apologize. FaZe up, is that still a thing? How do I explain it? How do I explain it? Because I have people, listen to this. I have people from EAFC that have looked into the camera and gone, yeah, I mean, look, Call of Duty's been around, like as long as the fighting game community has. Forgetting that EAFC is not a fighting game community. So can we please teach these children about FaZe up? Give me the quick rundown so we can use it on the show tomorrow.
Like actually teach it?
Just tell me, how do we do it? How would I use it? How do I get a StarCraft and FFC person to use it correctly?
Oh man, I mean, wide range of uses. It's definitely like a celebration in a positive sense. Okay. It's definitely like a little bit of a, you know, kind of like Steph Curry doing this.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Like you beat somebody, you're like, you know,
FaZe up.
Face.
Okay, and then is that the hand thing?
Yeah.
It's you know, kind
that
of put
way?
your finger.
Am I doing that right?
Like this.
Yeah, like point at somebody.
Oh, like that.
And
Okay.
drop your finger and put the thumb there.
Okay, so can we do one together? If we go on the wide, we're gonna do a FaZe up on 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. FaZe up. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I've wanted to do that for such a long time.
You've made him
Erik,
so happy.
Thank you so. My producer's just like, Trevor, that's so unprofessional. Anyway, the fanboy has come out. Erik, thank you so much. Give me a quick second. We're gonna move on with the show. We've seen some StarCraft, but as we've already seen, the StarCraft players have incredible APM, actions per minute. But what about out of game? Let's find out.